Your name, you know. Judy. Hi, Judy. Hi, Judy.
How's everybody?
Hi, Judy.
Hello, hello.
I guess we should have stayed home
No.
too.
Where'd it go?
I could
There it is.
have gone, I could have gone to Carol's. So I get,
Should we call to order?
yes, I am. I'm about to call it to order. I was wondering who was here. Is Peter on? Peter's on, you can't see him. And Valerie? And Peter? Peter's on twice?
One's for the audio, most likely.
Oh. Okay. All right, I'll call this meeting to order at 7:02 already. Approval of minutes from the previous meetings. Do I hear a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes.
Do I hear a second? Most, any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, no. So carried. Financial matters? Okay. We've used 82.4% of our budget amount. That means we expended $16,488. And we've got $3,514 left. Any discussion on the financial report? Did anybody hear it?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor of the financial report signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. Any discussion? Financial matters are approved. Correspondence? Evidently, we've, other minutes were corrected. Okay, incoming mail?
We're light on mail this past month, but we did receive thank you letters from both the Connecticut Audubon Society and the Land Conservation Conference. We renewed our memberships with them at the most bargain rate they have, and they sent us hand-signed thank you letters with little note. I can't recall what it was, but it was a genuine thanks.
Any specific incoming email you wish to discuss?
Today we did get in the mail the Wildlife magazine, which was too early to post on the agenda, but that's in front of, should be in the stack of documents that was on the table for this meeting. It's interesting. We'll get to the bluebird conversation a little later, but that was a big focus for me of the last week, and it's fun to see a bluebird on the cover. But that came. I did send Phil the packet of materials from our last meeting. I don't know if he got it, but it's been a light month for outgoing and incoming mail.
Okay, any discussion on the outgoing mail then? None?
Yeah. One other note tied into the bluebird conversation is that I've been emailing people on the distribution list. So I'll dive into that a little later in the agenda. Oh, actually, it's right next, the conservation agent report. So I've done a couple advertisements, or I've requested a placement in the letter to the editor for the Thompson Villager, as we've done in the past. The fresh message, not exactly the one that Carolyn had, but a little plug for our program. On the town website, I've put up a banner that says bluebird nesting boxes are here. Kind of an announcement on the Conservation Commission page. And we've got a plug for the program in the First Selectman's report that was recently published, that it should be in front of you all too. I've been going through my distribution list and emailing people that we have the boxes available, and to please let us know. I think I included that a letter perhaps in the handout, but that might have been the advertisement. That I can drop them off if need be, but I've listed the operational hours of the office, and that they're available during that time or by appointment. And I'm going to include the DEP fact sheet. There's a really good one. It's there's a longer version of the one that we were handing out before. That it's both a lot of information about the Bluebird itself, in addition to the installation instructions, and so it's a more robust guide. And thus far, we've distributed 2. And I'm kind of trying to coax photographs out of everyone, or know that the expectation is that we would like to receive photographs of these in operation. But I think I still have a very long list of people that I can do an additional ask for a follow-up, how their Bluebird boxes are doing, because we don't really have photographs since 2017, really. 2018, they trickle off. We distributed them to commission members on various commissions around town in 2018, I believe. And we didn't really follow up strongly for photographs at that time. But there's plenty of names to ask and to see how they're functioning. These things do require maintenance, and just it'd be interesting to know how many people follow up on what we've issued to them. But any questions about the nesting box program?
I had 2 sets of bluebirds on my feeder, my suet feeder. I was surprised. I had them before.
Yeah, now's the time. And that's good to hear.
Should have taken a picture. We tried, we couldn't get one.
They don't pose very well.
No.
No.
I don't know how they get them to sit still on a magazine cover there. I think it's actually about to take flight if you look at it closely.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, the next item in my report, in our correspondence, we received thank you letters for our contribution to the Connecticut Audubon Society and the Land Conservation Council. Also mentioned previously, the Selectmen's update has been released, and we are somewhere near the back. We have a full page, and I used the opportunity to plug the program, the Bluebird nesting boxes, and give regard to the work that was done under the Neglected Cemeteries Grant Program at Wilsonville Cemetery. And at the bottom, I announced that we have vacancies, and we'll see if any leads come out of that. The draft subdivision regulation revisions are moving along still. They've got a meeting coming up this Thursday about, this is the storm management and low impact development sections. Marla's is working on a lot of comments to this end on these stormwater management section. I'm going to drop in on Zoom and take some notes. She's going to be sending me an email of comments that if there's anything really pertinent from a conservation standpoint to bring up, then I'll get our word in.
She's a very good one to be present at that meeting with her background.
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be losing her in the office. She's going in for surgery, and I'll bring that up a little later. So I've emailed you all a PDF with clickable links of grants that are out there related to some of the stuff we do. The more robust version of that list has the deadlines of the grants and other information, such as if it's a grant that requires a match, or if it's a state grant, a federal grant, a nonprofit type of grant. And when that's polished where I want it to be, I think at the next meeting, you'll have the paper form, which looks much better. It's I've created it in an Excel spreadsheet. And there's a lot of money out there to ask for. And not everything requires a match. A lot of them, there's a lot of small things to ask for, small money to ask for. But I think,
Dan,
what's
a
that?
match, a match with volunteers of time or a match of dollars?
A match of dollars. Some of the bigger grants require a match of dollars, but there's a lot of smaller, like not really micro grants, but smaller funding opportunities that don't require full matches. Airline Trail. Oh, I skipped a spot. Airline Trail. Connecticut Resource Conservation and Development hosted a meeting. They've been working on a master plan for the Airline Trail State Park, 12th town. The town planner wasn't able to attend that meeting, and she asked me to sit in. It was in the office at 9 o'clock on Zoom. And they went over a couple sections of their master plan. One was kind of related to branding, and how towns make mention of the Airline Trail and their plans of conservation and development. And the takeaway from that, from me, in their chart, which I wish I had available for you, is that of the member towns in the state that the Airline Trail State Park crosses, Thompson doesn't strongly feature or publicize in its land use documents that they have this. Another aspect of the meeting were towns which leaned into the idea of being a trail town. And I think Thompson is well positioned to consider itself a trail town. We just don't, in our land use documents, really put that out there as well as we could. So we'll see where there's opportunity to feature ourselves in the respect that it's sort of we're due. Thompson, it has a lot of recreational tourist opportunities. It's an outdoor town, and we could just strongly identify as a trail town. We've got a long segment of Airline Trail. But there will be further meetings of that. I have yet to type out my handwritten notes on the meeting, but I'll be presenting my insights of it to Tira, our town planner.
Will you check,
yep.
Dan?
What's that?
Will you be checking with the land trust to see what lands they have that are useful for trails or being used for trails?
Yeah, I can.
There's already a trail, right?
Pardon?
I can't think offhand of anything that the Wyndham Land Trust that's contiguous to the State Airline Trail State Park.
Okay.
But I think the ultimate goal is trail contiguity between all the different types of trails we have out there, the airline trail, it should be easy to walk from the airline trail to the Thompson Dam trail system, to the aquatic trail system, to Rhode Island, to Massachusetts. These are inevitable links. But yeah, that's I will examine a little further our GIS map and see where the land trust parcels are in relation, because they need to work together on that. Thank you, Norma. Also, the town planner had asked me to try to come up with another map. And this is to kind of show areas that the town would love to see conservation subdivision type development. And it's kind of I guess it's gonna be an amalgamation of natural diversity data, a lot of overlays to kind of highlight all the areas of ecological, natural value, which is, I mean, there's a lot of that in town. So trying to figure out the best, even what to call the name of the map, because the prefer, it's not a, you can't really, I don't know if you can really give preference, but I'm trying to narrow it down to where it's not the whole entire town, minus the downtown, the mill area. But we have a lot of the kind of all the data we can need, and I should be able to put that map together without any issue. It's kind of just plugging one data set into an existing map that Carolyn already had made. And we might even, we have maps that kind of suit the question or suit that need potentially already, but that could use a fresher appearance. But that one should put itself together pretty easily after the parameters of it have been determined. But
will you be showing us a copy of this later then?
absolutely. When it's ready, I'll be happy to show it to you. You guys can give me tell me if I'm getting better or not. But this one will be a ArcGIS map, not a facsimile map. And Marla, there was another map request from Charlie Obert, EIDC, related to a bike route for that bridge the gap between the Pomfret's Airline Trail terminus and the Thompson Airline Trail terminus. Marla was able to find the map that he thought would be, he referenced the map that he thought was the one that was hanging on a wall somewhere, and they took it down, and that was the map. If we could find that map, that would suit his needs. She was able to locate that map and reproduce copies for his need, as far as I understand. Check out of that one. There's still a conversation, to the best of my understanding, about PA 490 open space. I wasn't able to attend the first selectmen's meeting on that, and I don't know what the outcome of it was, because the minutes haven't been put up online yet. Did any members attend that?
No, I didn't.
I didn't.
Oh.
Dan, this is Amy St. Ange. I'm here. My fellow selectmen did not have enough information. They hadn't been following the situation. So they are taking the next couple of weeks before our next meeting to just gain some greater understanding. Randy Blackmare was nice enough to get from Connecticut Farm Bureau the brochures on PA 490, the booklets. So those came in today, and I've already started reviewing mine, and I have it for my fellow selectmen. So we hope to just be better informed so that we can make, a good decision and what's best for the town.
Thank you, Amy. Norma and Phil, your terms have been renewed. They were scheduled to end on 3/15 last week, but we're good for another term for the both of them. We will be getting new phones in the town hall. The go live date on this one is this Friday. The phone has arrived in my office. I believe IT will be around this week to get us acquainted with the phones. I don't know if maybe, Amy, if you have anything to add to that.
Well, all I know is that what we're doing is we are combining services with the school. So we're jumping on to their phone system. Prior to that, we were spending about $1,000 a month. We will now be spending under $200 a month for these phones. Additionally, the former phone system had lots of glitches and lots of problems, and there wasn't good service to back it up. So lastly, we hope to have better service. We believe right now the school has had their phone system for the better part of this year, and they've been happy with it. Additionally, we're going to have an auto attendant so that when people call the town hall, they can choose the department that they wish to speak to. Typically, when people call, they get directed right to the first selectman's office. So we are consistently transferring calls to those more popular offices, which is tax collector, town clerk, building office. So so those are some of the changes that will come. But the biggest thing is that it's going to save us about $800 a month.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I continue to take dumping complaints, and I've got the most peculiar one yet to date in terms of location. One of the Boy Scout of Rhode Island properties adjacent to Aquatic State Park had somehow they managed to, because I can't drive a vehicle back there unless it's like a good truck. I don't know. And when they had this opportunity to dump this, so there's couches, TVs, and there's personal mail in this. So you could almost say it's an investigation. There was a limited window of time for them to do this, and I don't even know how they got this stuff out there because I looked at every way you could possibly get to this location. But somebody's household trash got dumped in from Danielson, got dumped in onto the Boy Scout property. I've already emailed the Boy Scouts of Rhode Island, Narragansett Council about this. They haven't responded to me yet, and I don't know the status of that trash. But every time somebody walks that trail, they wind up giving our office a call about it.
Is it off Baker Road?
Yes. It's at the intersection of Baker Road and Whitfield Pond Road. But south of that intersection, where it crosses into the Boy Scout land. So I'm gonna walk it this weekend, and I've been walking the border trail and see if it's still out there. And I'll put an additional word out to the Boy Scouts to ask to follow up on that. But yeah, I don't know how anybody wants to play it. I mean, I don't think I believe it's probably an apartment, and it's tenants trash. There was a bunch of different names. I don't know if somebody did a clean out after an eviction and did a sloppy job of it, and why they picked the, Boy Scout land off of Baker Road somehow to come up there with trash and dump it. It is on private property, so it's hopefully the Boy Scouts jump on it pretty quick.
Yeah, I would think if it's dumping and it's essentially trespassing, wouldn't legal matters? State police maybe be involved, or would it be their responsibility to track it down? Especially if there's a a name associated with it.
Yeah, the trash can be pinpoint, has an origin point. Who the name of the person is that brought it to where it wound up. It could, I think it's not it was names of two women. So, and I don't know. I just have a hunch that it wasn't two women from Danielson who drove their trash out there. You never know, but I wonder if it's what do the Boy Scouts of Rhode Island want to do about it? And I don't know if we've got them in an off season or if people have complained to them too, but it's very remote. So it's not like we can just drive by it really quick to confirm that it's gone yet.
Right.
I've been in that area with Larry Grove picking up trash a few
Yeah.
years ago. We picked up couches and whatever,
Yeah.
and it was right off of Baker Road. Do you know if that's right near the Boy Scout land? Can you give me an exact location, a better location?
So we did, one of the complaints gave us the coordinates of it and the map location, and we cross-referenced our GIS with their picture of their map and the dot. And it appears to be, I asked her if we could get any more precise indications of, does it look like you crossed into Boy Scout land? Was there a stone wall? Was there this? She didn't really have any more detail, but based on the coordinates, I believe it's located on just south of the Aquatic State Park land and on Boy Scout of Rhode Island property. But we have plenty of pictures of it. It occurred mid-February. Just senseless.
I'd really like to see it. There's a lot of state land in there, state of Connecticut land.
Yes, I can forward you the pictures.
Thank you.
Yep.
I know the roads in there pretty well.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, my impression was if whoever took that stuff out there and they must have really needed a car wash after they were done with it. Because you can't, like, you got to have something with real tires to drive some of those areas in this time of year or in February.
The road doesn't go through, actually, so don't try, because my husband did. $450 later for a tow truck to
Oh,
pull
no.
him out. So it's
No.
not a safe road.
No. The last item I had in my report, Marla, our wetlands agent, she's going to be undergoing surgery tomorrow, and she'll be working, but she'll be off her feet. So she's going to be handling a lot of things by email and telephone. And the timeline she gave us was 4 to 6 weeks, where she could potentially be out of the office. She was also on the same hand hoping to return to work next week. But it'll be however she feels, just so long as she doesn't re-aggravate her injury. I will probably be taking any pictures or doing any inspections that are required in the field in her absence. And it seemed, and just as, the baton is being passed as it was, earlier last year, the complaints that were coming around when she was about to go out on surgery are coming back around again. Same people, same issues, wetlands clearing, no permits, deer baiting, moving property markers, and a lot of these might wind up ultimately being civil matters. But if there is the clearing of wetlands without a permit or agent approval, this guy's on our radar. And this is actually incidentally a property that abuts the Boy Scout property that has the land dumping on it. So it seems like the borderland is epicenter of strife in right now. But it's our understanding he was trying to create a parking pad last year to access his property to hunt. And we told him, well, if this area here is wetlands, and if you're going to do anything here, you need to get a permit. And I don't know if he just forgot, or there was an opportunity to use equipment from a neighbor, because we've heard that the tractor that comes and does the earth moving drives down the road, and periodically it doesn't come on a flatbed. It drives itself there, and it's difficult to hunt down anybody's excavator unless they've got it right out front, obviously in their front yard. There's a lot of land in there, so we're kind of taking these complaints, but we need more information. And again, we've requested photographs of when it occurs, or any kind of evidence to help us out, because it just looks like this particular new neighbor has provoked the existing neighbors with the kind of activities he uses his property for, which is he's got, I think it was 60 plus acres over there. And I mean, you've got property rights and other rights that it's unfortunate, but to really have the peace of mind that you think you have when you have a lot of open space behind you, you really have to own it. But we'll see where this course of complaints leads. Last year, it was like 4 surrounding neighbors were complaining about this one guy. His property extends deep into the forest, but it has teeth along Aquatic Town Farm Road, and in between each of those teeth is a house that is not happy with them. But I'll be following up with most of these in regards to inspections and photographs, and working with Marla to make sure that an application comes before her email or desk if he's doing any regulated activities in the wetlands. And that's all I had out of my report. I'm sorry?
Have you contacted the Boy Scout ranger that lives over there? I think I have his number at home.
I would appreciate it. I think I contacted, it was a generic email name, probably info@Narragansett Council. So if you have a person to go there, and my next step was to run down, there's a list of email contacts with the organization, and I didn't want to, I wish I could find one that said facilities or property, but their email list wasn't broken out as such. But I would appreciate that, Norma. Thank you.
Okay. Any questions or comments on Dan's report. No, okay. Thank you, Dan.
Oh, you're welcome. This one was a lot leaner than in last month's. It seemed like there was a flurry of activity and things that required just a lot more commentary last month than this month. It was nice to see it all fit on one page.
Okay, moving on to old business, Fabian property with the honor roll marker. I don't think there's anything updated on that since Peter just got back. Peter, are you hearing us? I hope you're hearing us.
I'm thinking that Peter might not have audio. He might hear us, but he might not be able to converse with us because his second connection is gone and I'm not sure why.
How's that?
Oh, there we go. Yay.
Is that better?
That is, we can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me, but you probably can't see me, right?
That's okay. That's okay.
We don't
Yeah.
want to see.
Yeah. No, I haven't had any update on that yet. Every time I go over to the house, I think it's more or less like a duplex type thing because I knock on the door and there's no one answering that door. So I went around back and tried that one. There seems to be cars there, but there's never anyone to answer the door. But hopefully with the gas prices the way they are, maybe by the weekend they'll be around and I'll be able to check in on them.
You have a name for him, Peter?
No, I don't, not yet. I have to talk to Tom that lives in that house across from Phil Thomas's old house. He may know.
Well, Phil may know too.
Yeah, Phil may know. Well, I don't know if Phil does or not, because he's a newer person. He's new to that house. So Phil may not know him.
Okay.
But I'll keep after it.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right.
And
You're welcome.
The bluebird nesting houses, the boxes
Yeah.
we've covered.
Yeah,
Okay, cemetery projects for 2022.
yep. I heard everything. You just couldn't hear me.
Oh, The projects for 2022 is when we do the roadside cleanup, which begins with a kickoff on April 2nd, but I've had people asking for bags already.
Good.
I'm going to give them an opportunity to clean up a cemetery, that is the branches, and if they didn't want to go out on the roads. So hopefully, well, I've had one volunteer, one family already I've given them a cemetery to rake. So we're actually working on 10 cemeteries, trying to do our part in working on the neglected cemeteries.
And a lot of work still scheduled for Wilsonville this year.
Yes, we've still got monies left in that grant, and hopefully with some help, he'll be able to finish it this year. It's shaping up good, but it's still a lot. There were so many cemeteries, so many stones that were laying down and broken that he's had a lot of work to do because it's been neglected for so long. Then we've got the Aquatic Cemetery. He'll be working on those stones, and we have some more stones to work on at the Bates Cemetery, which is in Bonnet Acres. Okay, a discussion of the draft subdivision regs?
I think that item is so at this point, an appendage, this week's venture, an appendage of, last agenda. Well, no, I'll have more to add, after this Thursday's, Zoom meeting of the subcommittee meeting.
Okay, any new business to become forth this evening?
No, we haven't received any applications for review. The town planner actually, we might have one coming up pretty soon over by the Knights of Columbus, that subdivision. They're bringing their ideas in now and working with the town planner on that. She wanted to know what plans I had for previous approvals of subdivisions over there, and she will be trying to recommend a conservation type of subdivision to this developer for that area of North Grove Nadero Pond.
Is that by Lily Pond,
Yes.
where the Boy Scout camp used to be?
Is there a camp over there?
I said
I'm
that where
not
it
sure.
used to be, when John Rice
Used to
was a
be,
kid.
yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
There's also
The trails that I said, anybody wanting to move there would want to move there for the sanctity of the pond and the trail. So those two items need to be a strong consideration for protection. Any kind of alternative to keep the open space out there that you can.
Yeah, the water quality in that pond is very high because all the land around it is not developed. So everything we can do to protect that needs to be done. I was really hoping that we would have the opportunity to maybe purchase that through open space or something and permanently preserve it. So I'm a little sorry to hear that it's being looked at.
This is Amy St. Ange. Can
Hi,
I just
Amy.
share something in regard to the details regarding that dam? As we know, that dam is currently classified in highly poor condition. The potential that the dam could fail and be breached was pretty high, has been high. Centerville Bank, it sort of fell on their lap. They didn't realize when they took over Putnam Bank that they were acquiring a dam. About a year and a half ago, they were deer in the headlights when they found out that they own that dam. They were amazing to work with, I have to say, from day one. They were very proactive and making sure that after high rain events that they had engineers out there inspecting. But in their quest to potentially repair the dam and then turn the property over to an investor of sorts, their plan was to actually lower the water level and to eliminate the pond altogether and bring it back to its more natural state. So when this developer acquired the property from Centerville Bank did provide them in an escrow account over $2.5 million for the repair of the dam. And this developer does want to maintain the water level as it is and maintain all of those wonderful qualities that make it a nice piece of land with trails, very recreational. So as much as it can be seen as a disadvantage, it might have been eliminated altogether and we wouldn't have had much say because it is owned privately. It was owned privately and it still is. So the good news is that the height of the water is going to stay the same. The pond is going to maintain its natural look. So if that's any benefit, I hope it is.
There's also a cemetery over there that Carolyn Wurge and I viewed one day. It's hard to find, but I know a man that would lead us to it that should be um, um, should be known by the developers. It is near the river.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I can take you there someday if you'd like to see it, or whoever needs to see it, Dan.
you know who would
Yeah,
like to, the
yeah.
developer would love to see it. Because I know he'd want to maintain it, of course, and preserve it.
We'll,
Right on the water's edge.
we'll coordinate on that, Norma. Probably coming up very soon.
Okay.
But we don't have an application as far as I understand, but the developer is asking all the questions and interested in seeing what the alternatives are.
Will you be in Wednesday?
Yes,
I'll visit with you
okay.
Wednesday.
I did forget to add in my report that I posted, Judy had shared with me the pollinator pathway program. And then I had also spoken with Lynn Landry in the town hall about pollinator pathways and some of the plantings she's done at the town hall, which encourage pollinators to do their thing locally. I posted a link to that program on our news and announcements section on the town webpage. It's right next to the Bluebird nesting boxes are here announcement. And I think it's something that people out there would be interested. Probably the same person that's interested in the Bluebird nesting box would want to be interested in the pollinator pathway program. But it's another thing that we can start getting in people's minds. There's a kind of it looks like a conservation easement medallion. And I think you would go through this pollinator pathway organization to get one of these. But it basically says this property is on the pollinator pathway, native plants, pesticide free. So it's somebody who would be interested in doing such a thing, or there's this opportunity here for them.
What is the information?
So the byline is establishing pollinator-friendly habitats, food sources for bees, butterflies, and birds. And this particular program, it's kind of to keep your lawn pesticide free. Let things grow in a natural state. Types of conditions that pollinators thrive in. And I believe it's a nonprofit program that, let's see here. And I think if you pledge, they might hand you a medallion, but we've just only really offered the link to that, the brochure and the link on our website.
Why don't we learn about it and discuss it in more detail?
Okay.
Because I think it would be good to get more information out to John Q. Public.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for that link, Judy.
Sorry, how you're welcome. I hope
Yep.
I didn't miss anything. My puppy was
No, we were talking about.
like murder downstairs. So
Oh, no.
I ran down to see what was going on.
We were talking a little bit about the pollinator pathway program. I mentioned, is it a pledge?
It's a program, I guess, that towns or individual property owners could enter into, and they just kind of agree to plant pollinator plants on their property. The towns that have joined the program do pollinator plant promotion. You know, they encourage people to plant pollinators. They collect information that they can share out with them, you know, what pollinator plants are and, you know, where you should plant them and what the benefits are. Some towns, I think, even have offered little small grant programs to encourage people. I know some towns give away seeds. They do those little, what do they call them? The like the little seed libraries where they have collections of seed packets and they'll put them in their library and people can just come and, you know, take them. So there's a great deal of creativity in the different types of programs, I think, that have been developed around this. But I just thought it was kind of a neat idea. And if it's something that we want to take on as a town, the towns that have kind of adopted the program pledge to install pollinator plants on town properties. And the idea is to kind of create linear linkages between pollinator plant areas so that it supports all the pollinator species that, you know, are within your community. So, you know, not just insects, but birds and other animals that pollinate as well. So
Sounds great to me. I think it would be a great program, but I need to know more about it. So maybe we can do some homework on it and discuss it in more detail at our next meeting.
yeah, go to the website, you know, and just check out the website.
And yeah, the link to that is going to be in the news and announcements section. I basically uploaded the brochure and the link is at the end of that post about it. Also related to plantings, that wasn't in the the conservation report. We have in front of you the seedling sale. It's that time again, and there's
You,
The conservation district.
the one you have in here is the one at the Chester Fairgrounds. The one
Uh-oh.
I would like to promote would be the one
was-
at the Brooklyn Fairgrounds.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, must be
Oops.
Connecticut Rivers.
okay. Oops. Wow. That was the link I got. All right, I'll resend that around. I can hand you a good one on Wednesday, Norma.
Yeah, conservect.org/Eastern.
I wasn't paying attention.
Okay, anything else? Okay, any other new business? Anything else to be discussed there?
Nothing beyond the shared complaints with wetlands.
Okay. Okay, citizens' comments?
Ms. Clark.
Okay.
Hi,
Ms. Clark in the audience.
hi, it's Valerie Clark. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
I know.
Great.
And Ms. Clark, can you state your address for our recording secretary?
105 Ulm Road.
Thank you.
So I'm glad I attended tonight because I'm been sitting here since you started talking about the dumping concern on Baker Road with my heart in my throat. The gentleman, and if I can call him that I believe you're referring to, I hope that everyone that's dealing with him is aware of his criminal history. And this gentleman has felonies against him. And recently went to court. I don't know why he's still free. It's very concerning, very concerning. You might want to check him out. I ran into him because I thought he was trying to dump on my property, and I'm still scared, and it was over 6 months ago that I ran into him. I did see him returning on Gorin Road with the tractor he drives on the 15th of March. He was going back toward Sunset Hill. And yes, I think we're all talking about the same person.
Yeah. Wow. Back to the other property in his name.
Yeah. Yeah, he does that all the time. That's how I ran into him. Is he was driving from Gorin down Baker, and he was slowing down at my gates to my fields. And I had recently had a bad dumping problem. But just talking about it, my heart is absolutely pounding. Check out his criminal history. He's got criminal history in Worcester and in Connecticut, and it's very disturbing.
Thank you for giving us more information on that, Valerie.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just, I think, everything in me wants to do what Norma wants to do, which is go check out what you had reported out by the Boy Scout camp, because I'm out there frequently. But I do worry about, just be careful when you go out there, and if you run into this individual, he's very scary. And then
Do you have a name, or would you rather not share?
I'd rather not share in the event that I'm wrong about who we're talking about, but if it's a red Mahindra that he drives, I think it's the same person.
Red what?
Mahindra tractor.
Thank
So
you.
just make sure you're safe when you're out there.
Thank you.
And then I just have a question, because you used a term I'd never heard before. What is a conservation subdivision development?
So a conservation subdivision is, it's kind of an incentive for developers to create a more compact type of development pattern that preserves open space as much as it can be accomplished with the number of units they want to do. So instead of, say you've got a square and you draw a road halfway through it, it's best demonstrated in pictures. From my understanding, it's a more compact type of development that preserves larger tracts of open space in a particular property, rather than open space, small sections of open space. It's to incentivize larger open space. You haven't really heard of it because they haven't utilized it at all in this town. I believe Woodstock has built one type of conservation subdivision, and it was really only a subdivision. It was a family type of subdivision with four different sub pieces off of it. This is for larger types of development. They incorporated this language into the recent subdivision regulation revisions, and they'll be including graphic representations of it. It compared to a standard type of subdivision, the same land area, but different, how a different layout can achieve larger tracts of open space.
That helps.
Yeah.
Thank you. It helps to know that it's fairly new too, since I hadn't been familiar with it.
Yeah, the town planner, in addition to the graphic representations and the idea is to get developers to use this type of development rather than just seeing how many lots they can cram into the thing and without regard to the natural features surrounding it. I guess the conservation angle remains conscious in the development process with this type of development, and they're looking. The planner is looking at more ways for developers to be interested in this type of pattern instead of the traditional patterns. So a visual representation of it is probably what's been missing.
Well, there would be more people living closer together than further apart, and you'd have a larger piece of property for them to observe, or wildlife to, whatever.
Exactly.
But I guess my question is, I would assume it would bring more people into the town.
Yes, and it runs contradictory to the metric that says that open space saves us money. I think this is a compromise potentially. And in terms of development, which would we prefer, the standard type of development versus a type of development that's conscious of maintaining natural features and habitats. So if we're gonna get the 70 houses, we can get them one way or we can get them another way. But yeah, it would be nice if we could get more money in our open space fund to just jump on a purchase of a large property that makes sense. But we're not super rich. And private property, they can kind of do with it what they want within the law. And sometimes we wind up with development that we're not satisfied with. But I think this is a step towards getting a kind of look and appearance and feel of that is preferable to standard cul-de-sac.
Yeah. I found a graphic online. I just was Googling really quick. I could pull it up if you like, and we could show Valerie kind of what it looks like.
You have
If
the,
everyone's
you have the
interested.
ability, you have the ability to share your screen, Judy, so,
I do, yeah.
yeah.
Let me just share that. Okay, so hopefully everyone is seeing. Let me
There we
just try to make this a little bit bigger. There. So, oops, hey. Oh my goodness. Now is it going to come into focus? Maybe not. Maybe I got too big. Let me go a little bit smaller so you can see it. A little bit better.
From my end, it looks pretty good. I mean,
Okay. On my screen, it was very, very blurry.
it was,
So-
it was
So
a
the
little
one-
blurry, but
Okay, all right, not too bad. The one on the left is sort of a traditional subdivision with, say 2-acre lots or something like that. And the one on the right is a conservation subdivision. So what they've done is they've managed to get the same number of house lots, but they've done it by making concessions to traditional zoning criteria, lot size, length of road and whatnot. And so that's kind of part of the acceptance of the conservation subdivision regulations, is that the town agrees that they will allow a different set of design standards for the conservation subdivision versus what a traditional subdivision would have. So for the subdivision on the right, you've got the same number of lots going in, but you've put them on smaller, or the same number of houses going in, but you've put them on smaller lots. And because they're smaller lots, you've been able to reduce the amount of road that you're putting in. And it's allowed you to preserve more of the existing landscape. So you're preserving that existing, whatever it is, if it's pasture, if it's forest or what have you. You can direct the development away from sensitive resource areas like wetlands, streams, ponds, things like that, so that you can protect and preserve them. And so the property owner doesn't, or the developer doesn't really lose anything because he's still building the same number of houses. He's just doing it using kind of different metrics so that they can configure the whole subdivision a little bit differently.
it's helpful. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Judy.
You're
And-
welcome.
And then would the town also be collecting less property tax on the smaller lots?
That I don't know. That would be a question, I guess, for the assessor.
I guess my thought being that you're encumbering the town with 70 houses and you're not getting the same revenue and you're still losing the money on the services required. That's all. Thank you very much, though. This is helpful.
Sure, you're welcome.
Yeah, because the people require services and the land doesn't require as much. So you're spending more for, more people are having more money to spend on their,
The open space land could be held in common, potentially, is, I guess that's a
It could
question of,
be. Yeah,
things. So
Dan, don't we have a specific building lot size?
yeah, it varies by zone.
right. But that's one of the concessions of the open space subdivision is that the planning commission agrees that the benefits of this type of development outweigh any potential downsides of having a smaller lot. And honestly, I'm not really sure there are many benefit or downsides of having a smaller lot. You know, as long as you have room for your septic and you have room for your well and you can maintain your separating distances, you don't need a 2-acre lot, you know, so.
Valerie's questions are, I'm gonna try to get answers to, the ownership of the open space and the taxation. I'll ask that question to the assessor on Wednesday, how that works out. Because open space is a lot cheaper than services. And open space is almost our mission. And but with everything, there's compromise and concessions. But I think those are valid questions that we need to know. Thank you, Valerie.
anything else on members forum? I mean, on the citizens comments, excuse me. Anything else on citizens comments? Okay, moving on to members forum. Members, do you have any comments or questions?
No, all set.
I don't have anything this month.
Okay. Announcements? Any announcements? I have a question. When are we receiving these? When is John Q. Public receiving these?
The selectmen's update was already published online, and we've had copies at the library and at town hall for a couple weeks now.
Do people know that?
It was advertised, but we no longer mail in the shopper's guide.
Oh, I've been looking for it.
Okay. I'm glad
So-
to hear from you.
So does John Q. Public know that though?
We've done our best to let people know that it was out. I've had copies at all the meetings.
A lot of people don't go to meetings.
I know a lot of people don't look on social media or in the newspaper. So
You say you put a note in the
we've done our
shopper's
best.
guide? You said something about the shopper's guide, didn't you? You said-
No, there was a time when we used to mail it out in the shopper's guide, and we no longer, we went to a digital format. So, which is a much bigger book with a lot more information than the little fold up booklet that we used to have. So,
I think there's a lot of people that won't be seeing it, which is sad. So how do we pass them out to our neighbors?
there is a stack in the hallway waiting to get picked up, so.
Okay, any other announcements? Any other? Okay, next meeting is Monday, April 18th at 7 PM. Will that be Zoom or in person or a combination? Or you'll let us know later?
Probably hybrid makes sense. Amy, has there been any change in the emergency statutes or laws about?
I think that what has allowed for hybrid meetings is set to potentially expire in April. I don't see it going away. I think it's a great way of making sure that a lot of people can come into the meetings. But again, there's been no major decision that's come down from what I understand.
This works. I
Yeah.
think it allows, it brings people into the meeting that couldn't otherwise be here.
Okay, there's nothing else coming before the meeting. I'll proclaim this meeting adjourned and thank you very much for your attendance.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next month.
All right.